There are other different types of dementia, and depending upon where the difficulties lie, that in the illness determines the course of treatment.
You can. All you have to do is want to do it.
Yes.
Want to be it.
When you set your mind to it, and this is who you are, and
the grown men. We have the youth that we need to mentor, and we need to inspire, and we need to motivate. But I know, as a recent conversation between you and I, that you're also in the business of motivating grown men. Through that, I'm supposed to see God in it at every turn. So me going to the Sea of Galilee was to remind me of that, to refresh myself of that. It is all under control, that He does have it. It's just as clear as that fresh water that I saw.
You're Our Unity, hosted by LeShawn Walker, Tuesday nights, 6 p.m. PST.
Welcome, everyone, to You're Our Unity, a show that wishes to spread a spirit of peace and love in the world, one person at a time. We want to encourage you to live your life to the fullest. Live with passion, live with purpose, and most importantly, live unapologetically. I am your host, LeShawn Walker, and this is my co-host.
hi, I'm Jay Ellis.
Oh, my daughter. I'd like to welcome you in. Please like, share, and follow. Let everyone know that we're on right now. I am so excited today for a number of reasons, not just because my beautiful daughter is here, but because I just had a wonderful week. I had a week of hope. And I hope that you guys out there did the same. I hope that you were just believing in something different and striving for something more. I had the pleasure this past week to surround myself with the youth in the community. And it was so inspiring, especially for the fact that these were young men that I was surrounding myself with, and getting to hear their story and learning more about them. So I want to talk to you today about what I did this past weekend. And so this week in Unity in the community, we're going to talk about the time that I went to Elmont High School and I participated, or I think it's more like I was honored to be accepted into the lab at Elmont High School, where they hold the Men at Elmont's program. It was amazing. These young men, they share what's on their heart. They actually was learning about these other gentlemen and what they're going through. They were taught to start their day with affirmations. I am a king. I have purpose. I am greatness. I am the man, basically. And in addition to that, after their affirmations, they had to share with each other, check up on one another. They cut off in little groups, and they actually sat there and discussed what was going on in their world and their life during that week, and if there was any assistance that any of them needed. And then after that, obviously, they got up and they spoke about what's been going on. They shared, some accolades that they accomplished. Some guys were talking about tests that they passed and the fact that they started to study harder, and God, and the fact that they were just on this path to knowing who they are. And it was from the assistance of the great Mr. Dougherty, who is the principal at the school, as well as their mentors, John Johnson and Mr. Ray Ramos, who is part of Project Hype, who's the founder of Project Hype. These young men inspired me because it gave me hope for the future. Like, I was so impressed with the fact that they are building a foundation to, success and to understanding and to discipline.
And inspiring each other in the process.
At a young age, these are 14 and 15-year-olds that I could honestly see on the street, running around, standing on a corner, doing nothing.
Yeah, not adding to their lives. But I think being in a community and amongst other young gentlemen like themselves, it gives them an opportunity to be vulnerable and understand each other.
Yes, I loved it. I really did. And the fact that they actually shared real stories, you know, about what's going on and their aspirations, you know. This one gentleman wants to get into music, and he spoke very passionately about how he feels about that dream, but more so the path that he's going to take. He's already mapped it out. And I think that is just phenomenal.
Amazing.
I do. I really, really do. So after that, this weekend, Saturday, I was invited to my local middle school, ABGS, which is Alberta B. Schultz Middle School. And I was invited to come so that I could speak about not only Our Unity, but the amazing Sandy Claus boot and toy drive that we're putting on. We're so excited. I can't share that information here with you guys, but if you go to my website at www.yourunity.com or to our Facebook and Instagram, you'll be able to find out more details about the drive. But it was awesome. I got to, again, speak to young kids, and you know that's my mission. You know, I didn't talk to you as much as I wanted to about the things that, you know, we should be doing or you should be doing at that age. But I'm glad that I'm able to impart, you know.
And do it now.
Exactly, and do it now. These kids, again, amazing. The school has so many activities, and these children are learning to think outside the box. This was, I think, a PTSA meeting, so they invite the kids to actually share what's on their mind as well. Exactly.
I wish we had that in school.
You see? And you probably did.
I didn't know about
we just didn't know about it. And it's so funny because I was actually speaking to the young lady who was running the event, the program. And I asked her, like, really, you know, were you satisfied with the outcome? And you know, did enough parents show up? And that actually was her problem. She said that she had wished that more parents showed up. It was the PTSA. The children were there. There were a lot of students
there
exactly.
than the parents.
It was like the parents just dropped the kids off and just skated out of there. So I advise all parents, because I wasn't part of a PTA. And I'm sorry.
You did like a couple bake sales or something.
I did those things, but it was just giving it to them. I wasn't sitting in any meetings. We need to sit in meetings. This was a Saturday that I woke up for a meeting for a group of youth that are not even my children, but I got a lot out of it. I learned what they were learning and uncovering, and the different programs that are going to help them navigate, you know, the path that they want to go in life. So I was truly impressed. So I advise all parents. I understand that we have very busy lives. And I also understand that, you know, you may not think that these meetings are for you or about you, but they are.
Very important.
They're very important. It's about your child, and you need to get involved with their education. I'm going to tell you, I was very impressed. I was involved with Jadeja's education probably up until high school. And then after that, I tapped out. Yeah. I did.
Like you figure out FAFSA and everything yourself.
I did. I really, really did. But I am so glad that you figured it out. You know what I mean? And you didn't stop. You know, you didn't let the fact that we weren't telling you what you needed to do and how you needed to do it and what classes you needed to take and what were your dreams and aspirations so that we can put you into those programs. You sort of figured all of that out yourself. And I'm so proud of you for doing that. I really, really am. Because for my fault, I just didn't have the mindset, you know what I mean, to wrap myself around it when I was honestly probably still trying to figure out who I am and what I wanted to do, you know. But you did that masterfully. And I'm very proud of you for doing that.
Thank you.
I really, really am. So anyway, it was a really great weekend. And again, I hope that you guys were out there filled with hope, because that's really what it did for me. It filled me with hope for what this future has in store with the youth in charge, you know, and they know who they are. They're confident about it. They're standing in it. They are walking unapologetically.
I think that's what like this generation is all about.
In their truth.
In the truth, following the path, and just going for it.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. Well, I also had a day yesterday of realization. I woke up from a dream, and in that dream, what kept flashing in my head was live your life to the fullest. Live your life to the fullest. Whatever that means. It is getting rid of unforgiveness, moving forward in your job, your health, your love life. You know what I mean? Finances. It can mean a plethora of things. But living your life to the fullest is owning your happiness and trying to step into that every day. So today we want to talk about that because my daughter and I are both going through growing pains, me embarking on this new journey with our unity and her just discovering who she is.
Figuring out the journey, just going through the motions.
Exactly. But I want us to do it with joy every day. I want us to do it with happiness, with expectation. I want us to, more importantly, do it with passion. You know what I mean? Knowing that regardless of what you're up against, if you passionately pursue it, that the blessings will just overrun you. Thank you. So the title of the show today is Live to the fullest. Live with your heart leading you, actually. Live and let your heart lead you. And also keep into perspective that the challenges and the things that you go through are meant to grow you.
Help you in the process.
To increase you. You know what I mean? So my daughter actually came to me today, and it's so ironic that she's a guest on the show. But in her growing pain, she's, realizing a lot of things that she has been enduring over the past year or so, and probably even longer,
Yeah.
And more importantly, that there's some changes that she has to make in order for you to shift and in order for things to shift and for you to level up. And so our conversation, and I always feel like I sound like I'm preaching, but at the same time, like I'm imparting good information. Let's be real, I am. I just want to make sure. But the fact is that what she was discussing with me resonated with me as well. I experienced the same kind of growing pain. You have friends in your life, you have things in your life that you kind of want to hold on to, and you hold on to them because they're familiar, and you hold on and you're comfortable, and you hold on to it because it's really all you know, and you don't think that it's really causing any real issues.
And it's causing more harm than you think.
Exactly.
Because you're staying stagnant in whatever situation or any choices that you're deciding to make. Those choices are what's going to propel you to the next season in your life. But if you hold on to certain things, you're not going to ever grow or get out of that motion that you're in.
Yep, you're absolutely right. Now, in what you're dealing with right now, which I kind of dealt with about a year or two ago, is, shedding weight, shedding weight mentally and shedding weight physically and spiritually, spiritually you have to shed a few, things that you probably were doing that was not right for you. But just shedding that weight from you mentally, and which is what I'm seeing that you're going through right now in the self-reflection that you're having. What does that look like? Tell me, what are you doing to kind of start that path, that motion?
I think right now I'm just trying to find things that work best for me and like my mental health. So it's whether that's finding like certain friends that you feel comfortable with to have those conversations with. I mean, not everyone is your friend. You have friends for certain things. So when you find like that close knit, that you can be kind of open and they can share their experiences and you guys can bounce back off each other. I'm really big on journaling too. So I also feel like, yes, you have your friends, but you gotta tell your friends everything. So in those moments, yes, you would journal just to clear out your headspace and focus a little bit more. And just taking it day by day. I think a lot of times you have all these like long-term goals and short goals that you think you have to do immediately. And when you really think about it, it's doing something different that you didn't do the day before. So just trying to improve each day. Those little things that you kind of forget about and you think that it's nothing, those are the things that are going to propel you in the long term. Yeah. So I'm just thinking overall right now.
No, I get that. I get that. I love that, because sometimes you have to look at the bigger picture. Exactly. Instead of,
because you get overwhelmed if you look at the big picture.
You
think that like there's no way through, you're not going to see it. Yeah. But when you like break it down, it's like, okay, it's not so bad. And then like a year later, you're like, oh, wow.
Look what I did. Exactly. Look what I've accomplished. And that's the point. Exactly. And that's exactly the point. Yeah. But sometimes in that you can get stuck. Yes. You know what I mean? And you think that you're just supposed to look and handle what's happening in front of you today. And that is true to a certain degree, but you're not supposed to just stay stagnant within that. You're supposed to always try to look beyond what's happening and the reason behind why you're experiencing. Happening. Thank you.
What you're doing.
Yes. Because that's what I'm dealing with. You know, it's I've made certain choices. I stood in those choices, and I just thought that regardless of what that choice was, that the future also was going to be okay behind that choice. So now I know I have to navigate a different path because some of those choices weren't something that was good for my future.
Or they were good at that moment in present time, but now you know, like, moving forward and for where you plan to go. For that moment, it was great. But moving forward, that's not who future self is.
Exactly. And there's lessons, you know, that I've learned from it as well. So that's really what we're really trying to convey, is that the growing and the pains and the problems and the challenges are all part of the process to getting to the reward. And that's what I've been trying to instill in you, because I mean, again, she's young, you know, my daughter, if I didn't mention, 26 years old, she's Buffalo State graduate, FIT, she's fashion maven, stylist to God knows who. She does a lot, and you're so focused, you know, and I admire you for that. And on top of that, she's so driven. And I love that about you, because you don't let anything stop you. But I know that sometimes you can get stuck in the now, you know, and that's what I've been trying to get her to grow out of, is to see the bigger picture. You don't wake up, you know, in the morning and because it's raining outside, you decide that you're going to have a bad day.
I kind of do that sometimes.
And I think that you can. I get so upset with her when she comes down.
It's gloomy, I'm gloomy.
It's a gloomy day, and this girl is gloomy. And I was like, you've already started your day. You've already set the tone for the day just by you having that mindset. When, if you wake up with, with expectation of goodness and greatness, or even for the sunshine to come out in that gloom, or how about you be the sunshine in that gloom, that things can change. Just look at the bigger picture, because then when she comes home, I'll then ask her, well, how was your day? And then the next day, oh my God, I gotta tell you, this was an amazing day. And so the fact is that you have the ability and you have the tools to set the tone for the day.
No, it's funny you say that.
It starts with you. Yes.
I had recently saw a quote. I don't remember the full quote right now, but the gist of it was basically being aware and taking care of your controllables. So back to what you're saying, it's like, yes, the way that you start your day, the way, the choices that you make as you move throughout the day, how your energy is perceived, and you know, how you take in other people's energy. Those are all things that you can control. Those are your controllables. And as long as you stay focused on that, then I feel like moving forward throughout the day and so forth and so forth, it makes life a little bit more easier to go through.
That's right.
Because if you try to take control of everything that's out of your control, that's when you see like mayhem and everything and nothing makes sense.
The stress is what causes the problem. You know, now you're trying to control everything. So therefore you're now obsessing over it. Something. And then that in turn makes you stress over it. When you have no control over the outcome in the first place.
You have nothing to stress about.
You have nothing to do. Nothing. Nothing. And that's what I had to let go of. So I'm going to take you back to my trip to Dubai, because I took her last year, because Dubai was the most amazing experience for me. That was me letting go of the old LeShawn, the person that wanted to control everything, the person that, wanted the walk to be how I designed it, opposed to the one that God designed for me. And also to figure out who I am. It was really more of a spiritual awakening, but a reawakening to my soul and my spirit and who LeShawn actually is. And so I wanted my daughter to experience this at 25 years old. I wanted her to figure this out sooner than later. So I took her to Dubai, to the desert. We got on the camel. If you didn't see a picture of that, but we got on our beautiful camel and in the darkness and just prayed and cried to God. I think we do have a picture. You can put that up real quick, Bobby. But it was amazing. Tell me what you thought, because I had been pouring into you everything that I see. That's a beautiful picture. I love that moment. It was beautiful. But tell me what you got out of it. I know that I kept telling you, and you actually, you know what? Tell me what you saw when I came back from Dubai in your mother.
Your first trip.
My first trip.
So yeah, you just all of a sudden said, "Yeah, I'm going to Dubai, guys," and I was like, "Wow, like okay, that's crazy." And when you came back, you were much more focused. I mean, we've always had these conversations that we're having now. But I think the trip kind of like opened her up a little bit more to the possibilities of life, that there's more to life out there, and just how can she make the change daily to grow. And I think this was obviously before the pandemic, right?
Yeah, this was in 2016.
Right. And I think each time she just continued to grow. And then I think it was right before the pandemic, that's when you really invested into your unity in the business and taking the classes, and she was on it. I was surprised.
Thank you.
And I think after I think she found, your niche. Yes. Like you found like, this is what's working for me.
And this is my purpose.
Right. And that's the purpose. Yes. And she's just been very headstrong since.
And that's what I wanted you, that's what I wanted you to get. And I didn't want you to wait. Thank you so much for that, by the way, because you inspire me. Like, honestly, my daughter, she graduated college. I didn't go to college. So it's like that to me was like my award, really. I felt like I got the diploma, but at the same time, it made me want to be better and be more, because of the fact that I raised you to want that. Now I have to also personify that. You know what I mean? So I'm glad that you saw that. It wasn't just, mommy going to work and coming home and taking care of me. It's me pursuing my purpose and my passion.
What I loved was that she just found something and she just said, I'm just going to do it. You know, like how, I don't know if we can still talk like Nike is like still a thing, but like Nike's slogan, just do it. Like, I think that's where she finally just locked in. And it takes a lot to lock in because of all like the outside noise that you may receive. But I think when you did, you went full on.
Yeah. And
so that was inspiring to me.
Okay, see? So I haven't ever turned back, and I'm not turning back. So that's what I want to know. When you went to Dubai and what I wanted you to get out of it, tell me a little bit about, because I know you didn't experience exactly what I did, and I shouldn't have really expected that. But what did you get out of it, other than the fact that you want to move to Dubai?
I really need to figure out a way to move there.
Good.
I don't feel like I've got the full spiritual aspect that you got from being there. But I think I saw more of like, it's possible. Like just seeing the culture out there, how people live, meeting random people and just having conversations with these people was amazing. And I think it's more so like you can really create and rebrand and do whatever you set your heart and your mind to. And I think for this year, well, the year since we've been back from the trip, I think I'm just like slowly grasping onto that. I mean, I'm still trying to fully hone in, still working on it, but
we're all a work in progress.
But I will say this: I'm so much more aware.
Right.
I'm fully aware of my mindset. I'm aware of my strengths and my weaknesses, and I think moving forward, it's about just applying everything that I've experienced, I've seen, and just moving forward with that.
No, I get that. I think it just opened, you know, up to different cultures, different people, different ways to be successful, different ways to be happy as well. Because honestly, the people out there just
so carefree.
So
carefree. They don't look like they're stressing.
Yes.
Everyone is so sweet and super just nice and welcoming. And I mean, if you're from New York, like New York is not always
the breath of fresh air. It is a breath of fresh air.
So for that, it was amazing.
I know. But I find from that trip, you came back desiring more.
Oh, 100%.
That's what I saw. I saw that you came back with a focus on your future. Now, you've always done that, but I think your future was in that moment, you know, like you were chasing, you know, what felt good
at that moment,
looked good, exactly, and what you thought was good, as you mentioned to me a minute ago, at that moment. But now I see you, and I don't know if it's crossing over 25 that, you know, you're realizing, you know, I'm becoming more of an adult, that now it's I have to think further and deeper.
I think I recently was journaling, like I said, and not saying that I was regretful of like my college time, but it was almost like I wish that what I know now, I wish I knew then. And it was realizing that I could have done a lot of things differently from college time to, I guess, propel myself or get myself in this place that I thought I should be in by now. Because at 26, when I was thinking of 26 when I was 20, is, you know, obviously I didn't think now, like I would be here. But I think it's all about just taking it like day by day in that moment and just trying to find what works, I guess, in a sense.
Yeah. Well, you know that I'm a big proponent or cheerleader when it comes to figuring out sooner than later. And why? Because I don't want people sleeping on their gifts. You know, I don't want people not living their life, you know, to the fullest by showing up for your day. You know what I mean? I'm that person, you know, I always say it, like, you know, God woke you up this morning, you know, like you were blessed to see another day. Like this is your opportunity to be better than you were yesterday. And with that it should always be a forward motion, a progression of how do I get there? How do I reach, you know, that dream, that thought, that wish or whatever, or it could be something even, you know, small. It could be just your work that you're wishing or hoping, and how I'm going to reach that next customer or you know, come up with that next idea. And then that obviously will make you feel like you're moving forward and not just constantly doing the same thing every single day. And I think that's what I really found in you when we came back, is that you were pressing forward, like trying to figure it out. And I don't know if it's because I was repeating it a million times, but the fact is that I don't want you to wait until it's too late. And that's kind of why I think I'm surrounding myself with these youths now, because I want to give them that same message. Like, I don't want you to wait until you're 20, 25, 30 years old to figure out who you are. You can do that right now, so that by the time you're 20, 21 years old, you're already on that path. So that by 25 and 30, you own your home, you have a business,
and that's what I'm thinking
debt
about.
Free.
Like, had I known now, then, and granted, there was people around like you and Daddy, you know, there were people around that was telling me. But again, in the moment, you're not really thinking about that. You're in college, living life, whatever, having fun. But then you get to a moment and you can't know, as much as people talk to you about it, it's not going to resonate until it's meant to hit for you. Like
Exactly.
until you can see it yourself and you're self-aware, it's not going to make any sense. But I think that's 100% where I'm at.
Yeah, no, I get it. So let me ask you, what does living your life to the fullest actually mean to you?
Living life to the fullest means being carefree and following your heart, your intuition. Not second guessing yourself and just going for it. Like if you believe in it, it's almost like you have to become a little bit delusional. I was talking to a friend about that recently. And if you ever think about it, a lot of these celebrities and artists that we admire and we want to be like, they've all become delusional to the point that they've created this world and this image that we so love. And if it wasn't for them to believing in themselves just that much, that extra, and convincing everybody else, they wouldn't have been, who they are. And I think in the sense, we have to do that too. Like if you believe that you are the best artist out there, music, painter, whatever, other people is always gonna discredit you or be like, oh no, that's not painting, that's not nothing, you can't do it, whatever. But if you create the delusion in your head, like there's nobody better than me, I can do this, there's gonna be somebody out there. I know, not okay, sorry,
but I get what you're saying.
But you understand,
I totally
you have to create that vision and stick to it. And once you do, other people will follow, because nobody's ever going to really follow you when you're in that grind mode, because nobody can see it. But once it's produced and it's a visual, it's something that they can touch, it's reality, that's when everybody's going to follow. And they want to jump on. It's like, I was doing this. I was already in the motion.
Oh, you are speaking it, my friend. That is so, so true. But you're right. I think to a certain degree you have to, for lack of a better word, be delusional, only because it's almost like you're tricking your mind every day to believe even the bad is good. You know,
because
what I mean?
It's part of that journey. Like that's part that has to happen for you. Exactly. It's not happening to nobody else but you.
And that's what happens. That's what I do. I live, like I said, waking up in the morning, knowing that it's raining outside and maybe I don't want to go to work and all of these things are pressed upon me, but I choose to believe that it's going to be a good day. And that's faith. But at the same time, then you're asking for the extra, you know, get to work in 20 minutes when you left 10 minutes, 20 minutes late. But those are the delusions, you know, but the fact is
it's going to work out.
It's going to work out. And all because you have faith in that fact. And you also put towards the effort by expecting it, you know, and I think expectations go a long way. I really do.
Although I don't think you should have high expectations full, but have a general.
If you have expectations and then you put towards the effort, I feel that always works out, you know? So good. I'm glad that, you know, because I am very proud of you and the journey that you're making. And I see it. I see the growth in you. We were recently talking about now our circle, our inner core. Yeah. Sometimes it's hard to let go of people that you've known for a very, very long time.
But you gotta go.
But sometimes you have to go.
What is it? Reasons, seasons, and
a lifetime.
Yeah,
exactly. So I've shed, like I was mentioning early, some weight of people that weren't serving who I am. Like I feel like they were with me, but they weren't necessarily for me. And that is something that people have to realize. Like you said, reason, season, and a lifetime. But there's also people that are with you that are not necessarily for you. And they hang with you because you do have that light. You do have that spark.
An energy or something.
That energy is on high. And they want to be a part of it, not for your good and not because they like it or they love it. It's because it does something for them. You know what I mean? And once you realize that people are with you just because they want to tag along or maybe be nosy or be those complacent people that don't have any other friends or any options and just feel comfortable in the friendship and thinking that, you know, I've known this person this long and, oh, you know, she's
Like,
just going to have to
we've known
deal
each
with me
other.
for forever.
This is a forever friendship.
I can love her, I can hate them, I can whatever.
Yeah.
The fact is that they are a mainstay, but yet they're not serving the person that you are or the person that you are going to become. Exactly. So I shed some weight a couple of years ago, and I feel great. I don't say that the weight that I shed was, you know, I'm not going to gain it back. You know, I don't want to ever say never. But what I am saying is that I needed to take a break from that energy so that I can fix my space and fix my light and fix my energy. And also so that I can fill myself and my space with the people that are actually for me. Genuine, authentic people. And you know who those people are. You know what I mean? You truly know who loves you genuinely and who cares for you genuinely by the way that they treat you. And that's it. Don't think that just because you're friends with someone that just the years that you've known them is the loyalty that you should continue to have in them.
You can meet somebody the next day who has more love for you.
Exactly. And that's what I've experienced.
Yeah.
I've been sick and I will have a stranger call me before I'll have a friend call me to check on me. And that speaks volumes to me, you know? So let me ask you, considering that's what you're going through now, how did you come to that realization? Like, what sparked that? I think I may have to, you know, let some friends go.
I don't know if I've really told you, but for the past, I think it was around my birthday. I was talking to one of my best friends, and we were having our own conversation. We're both cancers, and we feel like we go through the same emotions. Right. And we were like, what is really going on? Like, we're turning this age. What's happening? And I think from about then, I mean, I always pray. Right. I always pray every day. But I was a little bit more, I was praying to remove people out of my life that are not serving me now or my future self. For people who are not genuine and authentic with me and will be around to help me grow, whether it's through my process or theirs. And I prayed that if I'm not meant to be in another person's life, God, please remove me too. So that it was both sides. And I think within that time frame, I have clearing house.
Without even really realizing
that I'm doing it. But it was just certain situations that was happening, conversations that was being had. It just wasn't sitting well with my spirit, with my energy. And I'm really big on energy. I can tell automatically if me and another person is going to work in a sense, like if we understand each other. And yeah, it was just happening just too organically that these situations were happening. And I was self-reflecting. So I was looking back on situations that were happening and what's going on now. And it's like, wow, maybe this is what this meant, you know?
No, I get it. I totally get it. It actually happened that way as well. Like, I didn't want to have to let go of people prematurely.
Right.
And I also didn't want to let go of people hastily. You know what I mean? Hastily. I wanted to, you know, for it to be a purpose, a reason. And I didn't want to just all of a sudden say, I'm cutting you off.
And I'm not talking to you.
And not talk to people. I actually prayed to God. I prayed to him to remove exactly what you said. People that are not serving any purpose in my life and who are really not for me and who are not going to show up for me in the future, you know, and who haven't clearly showed up for me. And I just didn't realize it because of the blindness.
So lost
exactly.
in the moment.
You're caught up in the friendship. You're not caught up in the compassion and the meaning of what that friendship is. So, I think once he revealed to me certain things, then I had to realize that it was a sign that I need to move on and not feel any way about it. And what I realized in me doing that, the others didn't feel any way about it either. Because if you know you're not speaking to someone that you're used to speaking to, or at least having a conversation with, and you haven't spoken to them and you haven't reached out to them, then you know that
It's over.
It's over. You didn't care in the first place. And all I'm thinking is that, we're making the effort to keep the relationship or the friendship going out of loyalty. For what? When that loyalty wasn't there when you needed
in the
them.
first place. Yeah.
Exactly. So how is it? Go ahead.
I was about to ask you a question.
Go ahead.
Since these people have been removed, do you feel like you've changed in any way, or your environment in the sense of your circle? Like, how did that feel? Do you feel less stressed?
I feel much less stressed. I do. I think what it did for me was it made me stop being naive to everyone's personality and everyone's, I guess, to intentions. You know what I mean? I'm a person that I believe everybody. You know what I mean? You show me a nice person, a good person.
You're like, oh yeah, we're besties.
I am your best friend. And I think it's just the light that I am, the person that I am, the energy that I am, that you're getting, LeShawn, regardless. You know what I mean?
This is who I am.
This is who I am. So I'm expecting other people to do the same. And it's unfortunate that it is
These people have hidden intentions.
And I don't realize that until later.
Yeah.
But what it has done for me, it has empowered me, because it made me realize that it's not that I felt I needed these people, but it made me realize that I don't need everyone, just because they're in your life and you know them and you have a relationship and a history, that it doesn't mean that you need them, especially if you know that there's so much more for you. Because some people want to keep you in their place with you.
To keep you in this
To keep you in
moment.
that box. Exactly.
And then what I've also realized with these friends that we're speaking on, people around us, is that when you guys hang out or you guys have your conversations, you'll know that you're stuck in this pattern with them when the conversations and everything is still the same.
Exactly.
After months, after years, the conversation doesn't change. Nobody's leveling up. Nobody's trying to help anyone level up. Yeah. It's almost as if they want to keep you in this little pot.
Exactly.
And that's when you kind of realize too,
that there's a problem.
I need to grow.
Exactly.
We all need to.
We need to grow, and we need to live our life to the fullest, because I think also in that moment you are also realizing your weaknesses, because you've allowed to stick around for so long. We know when we're in toxic environments, we know when we're not growing, we know when we're not learning. And if you're still stuck in the same friendships and relationships and not elevating and evolving within those relationships, because you're supposed to, regardless of what you're in, you're still supposed to be growing and learning. And if you see that you're not, then you are also as much to blame as whoever your circle is. You're part of the problem. You get comfortable and you get complacent in your own space as well. And again, it is because of the familiarity of the fact that you know this person and you know what you can expect from them and what not to expect from them. And that's fine with you. But to expect more, you know what I mean? And then to wait and to receive more is what you actually should be doing. And that's what I'm hoping that everyone starts to do and living your life to the fullest. There should not one person in this world that can hold you back from you being your greatest.
The best person you could be.
The best person that you could be from the moment you wake up. That's right. It's only one of one. Thank you. Thank you.
That's my thing.
And the fact is life is too short too.
Yes.
Because that's all I kept hearing too, is life is too short. Life is too short. Life is not short if you live it correctly. You know what I mean? If you live it every day with meaning, and you live it every day with just a vigor and a desire to just achieve everything that God put you on this earth to have and to live, that it will never seem like it's too short, because every day is going to be a forward motion of you.
A new challenge that you're giving yourself.
A new challenge that you're giving yourself. Yeah. You're absolutely right. And that's what I love about it. Now, we're going into 2023. We just came out of the pandemic. We were at home getting fat. This one got skinny during the pandemic. See how she's doing. She juices and started working out. I'm sitting there at the computer, oh God, drinking and eating anything I could. But during the pandemic, we also learned a lot because we were both reading books during that time.
I love the pandemic. Can we talk about it?
No, we cannot.
Okay,
She
bye.
loved the pandemic because she wasn't working and still getting paid, by the way. But anyway,
Very focused.
yes,
That's why I
but
loved
yes, that's what I was about to say, because we started reading,
it.
we started to want more from ourselves and kind of figure out who we are on a sort of a deeper, more cerebral type of level. We're very spiritual people, you know, always been spiritual, but now it was trying to figure out what makes us tick, you know, and how we are going to navigate the paths that we're unfamiliar with and maybe a little fearful to even travel down in the first place. So those months for you, years for me, because you went to work within that year. I still was doing my thing. But the fact is that within that time, you know, we grew so much. And even our relationship grew closer during that time, because now I felt, you know, that I could ask you questions and get an honest answer. Like I'm talking to an adult now and not a child. And I think that's what I really enjoyed about it the most, that I'm no longer talking to my daughter, my child. I am talking to my daughter who is now an adult, and now we can, you know, sort of bounce things off of each other and have really deep, meaningful conversations and kind of share things with her that I probably never would have thought I would want to share with you, but only doing it because I don't want you to make the same mistakes or go down the same path that I did. So now you're out of the pandemic and, you know, you go back to work and you're this new person. Do you think people are actually seeing it? Do you think you do? So what have you heard? What are people saying?
I mean, pandemic and now, two different J's.
Okay.
I was definitely getting the like, who are you now? When I came back from pandemic, I think I confused everybody. I was confusing myself.
Right.
Not gonna lie. But I will say, within the past, like I said, I've been praying, journaling. I'm just trying to get everything together because I know there's more. But within maybe the past 3 months, people that know me, like my coworkers, friends that I haven't seen in a while, everyone's telling me that I'm changing. Whether it be like how I'm speaking, my boundaries, just general conversations. Everyone is saying that they're seeing it, and I see it because like I said, I feel very self-aware now. Now I think moving into 23, it's more about applying everything that I'm aware of, like. Right. How am I changing it for next year? How am I going to be better? How am I going to improve my certain situation? What choices am I going to make moving forward to now be that changed person that people are seeing? Right. Like it might be the visual, but how am I mentally going to also change?
Yeah, no, I get that. I think, you know, facing things head on is very important. I'm just actually learning how to ask grandma questions, you know, and how to get a better understanding of, you know, why I was raised the way I was and why I feel the way I do about certain things. And it has a lot to do with your upbringing, you know? Yes, go ahead. What are you going to say?
I was briefly talking about that too.
Okay. With who?
With friends and like being on social media. If you know social media, Twitter, it's very much like psychology, need to see a therapist, childhood traumas, like that's a whole thing. We're not going to get into that. But in the sense, yes, while journaling, it was more so, like I said, I was asking myself, what was college me thinking? What was high school me thinking? But it's really when you turn into an adult, it's what was childhood you thinking? Yeah. And who did that person see back then and who are you now? And then how are you going to grow and move past that? So I think now it's more so channeling who I was as a child and who child me sees adult me to be.
Yes. Yep. And that's what I'm doing. Yeah. That's exactly what I'm doing.
And asking those questions are very important. But it's not really, and it is important to ask people who obviously raised you and who you were around, because that was your environment and your environment cultivated who you are today in a sense. But at the same time, it's also important to ask yourself those hard questions
Yes.
because you honestly have those answers because you went through it.
Well, that's why I'm now asking her the questions, because I know why I am who I am. Like, for instance, Christmas time. You know, Christmas has never been my holiday. And if it wasn't for Sandy Cabrera, my best friend who is no longer here, who we are doing this drive in her honor for, if it wasn't for her, I would not have that spirit and that magic of the holiday, or that even desire to want to exchange gifts. And we had Christmas up until a certain age, and then it was like, okay, here's some money and go out and go buy your gifts. So we weren't putting up trees every year, and we weren't, you know, the magic of Christmas and going out and lying and, you know, shopping with all the crazy people. It was never like that in my household. So I kind of raised you that way up until you were a certain age. I did the same thing. Like,
which is why I don't
and
get the holidays in general. I get it,
and
but
I'm mad about that, because
yes,
I
wish
know that you
I wish I could have done that. Yeah.
Thank you. If you had, you know, that instilled in you, or the importance of it, then maybe you would, you know, have a little bit more excitement about this time of year as well. So that's why I'm asking her, my mother, now these hard questions on why she made certain choices in how she raised me. And even though I know I'm a great woman and she raised me well, and my mother did all that she could to make sure my brother and I, as well as my sister, you know, were well taken care of, and, you know, going to be bright and successful adults. The fact is her circumstance dictated how we were raised, which is why I know I am and I do certain things that I do, and why I then pass that on to you. I gave her things that I didn't have, but it was those things that I yearned for, not things that I didn't think I cared about. I didn't think I cared about Christmas until now. I'm like, oh my God, Sandy's not here. And, you know,
we
like,
should be baking cookies.
We should be baking cookies, and we should be going to the parade, and we should be doing all of these things. So that's why I want you to at least start your own, you know, traditions, so that, you know, you can instill those things in your kids, and not just say, well, my mom didn't do it, so I don't see what the big deal is, because that's always my excuse. Well, my father and my mother didn't do it, and we raised good, you know what I mean? We came out okay, like, we're fine. But maybe we're not. These are things that we could be holding on to that we don't realize that is actually a problem or a hindrance in our life. So again, it's all about just living your life to the fullest. I know we were all over the place probably, but basically it's just to tell you that you have to wake up every day with a sense of purpose and a sense of urgency to fulfill your passion and your purpose here on earth. And that's it. No matter what is going on in your world, there's a reason to it. There's a lesson to it, and there's a reason for it. And it will, as Jay mentioned, propel you to the next level of your life.
I got one too.
Yeah, go ahead.
This is my favorite quote.
Go ahead.
And it was in my yearbook. It was my yearbook quote. It's a Biggie lyric, but Jay-Z said it. Okay? It is, remind yourself, nobody is built like you. You design yourself. Live by it. Like I said, you're one of one. So whatever you feel like is in your motion right now, whatever energy that you feel like you need to share with the world, just do it. Believe in it, and it will happen. But it's all based off also your choices and how you present yourself to the world and who you basically want everyone to see you as. But you're building yourself each day as you do it.
Yeah, I love that. I really, really do. Every day you are
It's another stepping stone.
Work in
to
progress.
The next, right.
Exactly.
It's all
You're
part of the
developing
journey.
your masterpiece as you go, because we are all masterpieces. It's just we have to develop ourselves. We have to create and recreate ourselves every day.
And you can rebrand yourself at any time.
Yep, I love that. I love that.
That was deep,
All
right?
right, it was. Thank you, Khadijah. Look at you. All right, I like to get to real quick to the Dare to Be You. And the Dare to Be You is dare to dream. Live with passion. Make your life an epic, extraordinary adventure every single day. Am I right?
Amen.
Amen. That's what you need to do every single day. Dare to dream bigger than what you see. That is also very important, is that you don't hold yourself within this little box, that you have to break out of that and see the magic in who you actually are. Not all of us are, artists and creatives and people like that, but there is some type of gift inside of us. I'm not an artist or creative, but I'm a talker. You know what I mean?
And it's the simplest things. That's what I'm realizing. You think you're waiting on like this light bulb moment to happen, and it's probably the most simplest thing that you're doing on the day-to-day basis that you think is nothing.
That's right.
But that is your gift.
That's right.
So tap into that.
Thank you. Tap into that. And that gift obviously can turn you into the greatest person in this world. Somehow, some way you could speak to so many that are probably just like you. Start your own business, just built around that one gift that you have that no one else has. So those are the things that we have to do every single day, is just look for the greatness in ourselves on a daily basis and actually move in motion to achieve those things every single day. And again, live unapologetically in your truth, because that's what's more importantly. I don't care if you don't like me or love me, just love who I am for who I am, and that's it. That's it. Right?
Amen.
All right. All right. I'd like to thank my daughter for being here on the show. This was really cool. I might have to have you back. We're going to have to do a co-host LeShawn and her daughter ever so often. I think it's really good. I feel this is good. This is good. Anyway, I'd like to thank everyone for tuning in to another episode of Our Unity. We want to tell you to what? Live your life to the fullest. Go out there every day and just be the very best you that you can possibly be, and do it with joy, happiness, and compassion. I want you to have a wonderful evening. We will see you next week on Our Unity. Remember that peace and love is in the palm of our hands. So let's go out there and be some love, share some love, spread some love. Have a wonderful evening. We'll see you next week. I love you. Good night.
Good night.
Strong Island Entertainment.